Hello everyone, welcome to the sultry sounds of construction. Concrete is being poured today. If you want an update, they're back in action. I know you've just really been where have the construction people gone? We just want them back, so don't worry, they're back. And so we have that lovely background sound to listen to today. Today, as you can tell by the title, is another 3 looks 1 palette video using the Beauty by Love Notes palette. I was low-key dreading this video. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this palette. It's too light for me. But I ended up actually really enjoying all 3 looks that I did. And I was pleasantly surprised by this palette, okay? I think it has more potential than I gave it credit for, but I do say fuck all the beiges and off-white shades that are in here. Okay, Beauty Babe, we don't need to do this again. Let's not, okay? I never want to see another palette where I have 3 matte brow bone highlights. Never again, okay? But if you were interested in my take on this palette or how I personally like to use this or have liked to use it, let's get into the 3 looks. Okay, hello, welcome to the first look using the Beauty by Love Notes palette. I'm gonna do a 2-toned halo eye today, I believe. I'm going to start with the shade Glove, which is this purple here. And I'm going to take this and put this in the outer part of my eye and bring it halfway through my crease. And then in the inner part of my eye, I'm going to take the shade Ruby, which is this darker red. And yeah, pack this on the inner part of my eye and connect it to the purple. And I have primed my eyes with the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, and I have not set my lids. And herein lies the issue that I don't really have any specific mid-tone shades to blend out because they're all now basically off-white, which is super fun for me. But I think what I'm gonna do is take the shade Lavender for the outer part of my eye and use this to blend out the shade Glove. But I'm mostly just going to focus this on the edges. I don't want to take away much depth. And now for the inner part of my eye, I'm going to take this shade called Handkerchief, and just do the same thing, just blend this red out. But again, just the edges. Okay, so I actually don't mind that, but for each purple and red side, I'm gonna mix. So for the outside, I'm gonna mix Lavender and Glove. and just blend kind of in the middle here, just to like help the light and the deeper shade blend a little bit more nicely together. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the inner part, mixing Handkerchief and Ruby. You know what? I'm not hating it as much as I thought that I might. I'm just going to take a totally clean brush and blend over the edges. I don't think I want to take like any lighter shade to help this blend. I'm happy with this blend right now, and yeah, I don't really want to change anything. So, okay. For my lid, I've been going back and forth. I think I'm going to take 2 shades. So I'm going to start with the shade Spark, which is this deeper purple here. I am going to take a glitter primer, so I'll tell you now. So I'm going to take Spark on the purple side, so half on my lid, and then the shade Confetti on the like red side of my lid. But first, like I said, I'm going to take some NYX glitter primer and just put that right in the center of my lid. I've been really enjoying a non-structured halo eye, so I'm not going to cut my crease or anything. Every day that passes, I swear my eyelids get more and more uneven, but we just have to fucking work with it, I guess. Cries. Okay, so my lid shades are on. These are so sparkly. They're so pretty. The shimmer shades in this palette are definitely the redeeming quality. So I'm going to take the deeper shades that I use, so Glove and Ruby, and just blend these into the shimmer shades on my lid. And then also make sure that they're intensified on my outer and inner corners as well. And then I'm going to go back in. I'm going to go back in with a mixture of the light and deep shades for my outer and inner corners as well, and blend again. And then I'm going to take Spark and Confetti on my fingers. Look at those beautiful sparkly shimmers. And intensify these shades on my lid. And also use that to blend them together a little bit more as well. For my lower lash line, I'm a little bit torn, but I think that I want to just keep with the two-toned thing going on my top lid. So I'm going to take Glove and stamp this close to my lower lashes on the outer part of my lower lash line. And then taking Ruby, which is the red, and putting that on the inner part of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to blend this out, I think with a mixture again of lavender and Glove and Ruby and Handkerchief. Now I'm going to take a little fluffy brush and take lavender by itself and very lightly blend the very edges. And then I'm going to take Spark and Confetti. So starting with Spark, place this on my lower lash line. And then going in with Confetti. And now I'm going to take the shade Soap, which is this really light purple. And I'm going to put this on my brow bone. And that's where I'm going to pretty much leave this look, except I'm going to take a matte black. I'm going to use the shade Noir from the Age of Opulence palette. This is such a pretty palette. I need to use this again soon. Not what this video is about though. And I'm going to take this black and use this to deepen my outer and inner corners. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to put some lashes on, finish up my face, and then be back to show you the finished. Okay, this is the finished look. On my lips, I have the Essence Soft Contouring Lip Liner in the shade 07 Lost Love and the Artist Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Endless Cacao, of course. Oh, what is this? I thought I would mix it up and do a little pink lip, which I normally never like at all, but Endless Cacao makes everything better, so I actually don't hate it, which is shocking to me. And I've been loving lip liner as lipstick like all over my lips recently, so that's what I'm wearing. Everything else on my face will be in the description box below. I have to say this look really made me more excited to use this palette. I actually was not looking forward to doing this video. I just remember using this palette and it just being like so light, but I think that if I concentrate on the deeper shades as my base and then kind of incorporate black, use the lighter shades as blending out shades, I think this palette actually has good potential, and I can make it work. And the shimmers are beautiful, so that is definitely making this palette more appealing to me. So I'm actually excited about the looks that I'm gonna do. I'm getting more and more inspired the more that I, play with it and look at it. So that's always good. I really, really love this look for sure. So I can't wait to play with this palette more, which I actually didn't expect to say. And let's get into the second look. Okay, hello, welcome to the second look using the Beauty Bay Love Notes palette. I'm going to do a more neutral look today. I want to use this mahogany shade and see how the mattes are gonna layer. I used a lot of light mattes in my first look, so I want to just try layering them again, because I know like Beauty Bay's formula can layer. It's just more about like the shades in here and how like deep I can get these individual shades. So I'm gonna start with the shade Mahogany, which is this warm toned brown, like mahogany shade. And I'm going to place this through my outer corner and my crease. And now I'm going to take the shade Ruby, which is this deeper red down here, and see how much I can build this up on top of the mahogany shade. And now I'm going to take the shade Corset, which is this very light yellowy off beige shade, on a little fluffy blending brush and run this over the edges. I don't know how much this is going to show up. Yeah, not much, but I'm just using that as like a blending shade. Okay, so I'm going to do a half cut crease. I'm gonna cut my crease and I will be back. Okay, I've cut my crease. Now I'm going to take the shade Mahogany and tap this onto my lid on the outer corner of my eye, and also run this over the front part of my crease. And then I'm going to take Ruby and do the same thing. So I'm just deepening my outer corner again and running it over the edge of my cut crease. On my lid, I'm going to take Candlestick in the center and Chandelier in the front part. First, I'm going to take some NYX glitter primer and put this all over the area of my lid where I cut my crease. Okay, so now I'm taking Candlestick and putting this in the center. And then taking Chandelier and putting this in the front part. And then I'm going to go back and forth between Candlestick and Chandelier and just blend these two together. Okay, so now I'm going to take Mahogany and just blend this into the shade Candlestick. And I'm going to take Candlestick and Chandelier on my fingers and intensify them on my lid. Oh yeah, Chandelier especially is a finger shade for sure. Normally I'd go in and blend again, but I really don't feel like I need to, so I'm going to take the shade Cotton, which is a true creamy beige, and use this to highlight my brow bone. I've never had so many matte brow bone highlights in a palette in my life. And then lastly, for my upper lid, I'm going to take Ruby on a very tiny brush and stamp over the edge of my cut crease. Okay, for my lower lash line, what do I want to do? I'm just gonna keep it all the same, honestly. I think I could do a purple lower lash line, but you know what? Maybe I will do a purple lower lash line. Why not? I sounded so Manitoban there. So I'm going to take Mahogany first. Oh my god, this brush is falling apart. And put this underneath my eyes and blend it out. And I'm going to take the shade Glove, which is the deeper purple in this palette, and use this to deepen my lower lash line. And then I'll get to see how Mahogany plays with the purples in here as well, because it's kind of the only true mid-toned shade in this palette. And then I'm going to take the shade Lilac, which is a lilac shade, and blend my lower lash line out with this. Okay, and then I'm going to take the shade Pillow, which is this like light purple shade with a warm undertone almost. I'm gonna spray that and I'm gonna put that on my inner corners. Okay, and then finally I'm going to take the black shade from the Age of Opulence palette, again the shade Noir, right here. This is also from Beauty Bay, which I'm sure you know. I'm just going to deepen my outer corners with this shade. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave it right now. I'm going to hop off camera, finish up the rest of my face and do my hair and stuff, and then be back to show you the finished look. Okay, and this is the finished look. This palette is growing on me, I gotta say. So on my lips I have the NYX lip liner in Nude Truffle and the Merit Tinted Lip Oil in Taupe. This is the, oh my god. This is the first time that I'm using this and I really enjoy it upon initial application. I can't imagine it's gonna wear long though. It looks really nice, but it's definitely, it feels like a lip oil. It doesn't feel like a lip gloss, but I really like the shade. I can see myself just throwing this on a lot. Anyway, not what this video is about. So yeah, I really like this look. I think it's a nice, like warm neutral, but still like a little bit of a deeper look, which is always what I want. These shades definitely layered really well. When I didn't use like a ton of the really like almost white shades, which I did in my first look. So this I'm really happy about. I'm really excited to do my final look, and I think this palette is nice so far. It definitely has potential, and when I use it in an intentional way, using more of these like bottom 2 rows of mattes, it's growing on me for sure. All right, let's get into the third and final look. Okay, hello. They are pouring concrete right outside my window. Of course, right as I start to get ready to film, so that's unfortunate, but there's not going to be a lot of talking right now, so hopefully it just ends soon. I swear to God, this building construction will be the death of me. Okay, so third look, using the Beauty Bay Love Notes palette. I'm going to do more of a graphic look today, and I'm going to start with the shade Glove. I know I've been using these deeper shades a lot, but it's just the way it's gonna have to go. Okay, so I'm taking this on a little angled brush, and I'm going to basically map out a little wing shape with the shadow and bring it all the way like through my eye. Like I'm gonna do the whole shape in one go. So hopefully this goes okay. Okay, so that's been done. Now I'm going to take that same shade and fill, actually no, I'm going to take it on a smaller brush, just that same angled brush actually. And fill in the outer part of the wing, but just a little bit, like not super far. You'll just see. Okay, so just like a little bit in, I might do a little bit more here. All right, again, even as I'm gonna get it. Now I'm gonna take some glitter primer. This is the NYX glitter primer. I'm gonna put this all in this whole blank space. And I'm going to take 3 shimmer shades. So I'm going to take the shade Cupid, Bellini, and Pillow. I'm going to take Cupid first and just Cupid, Bellini, Pillow, you know, put them all on my lid like that. And yeah. But first I'm going to put some glitter primer on that blank area. Okay, so I'm starting with Cupid and putting that here. And then I'm taking Bellini and putting that right next to Cupid, basically like right down the center. And then finally taking Pillow and putting that in the front third. Well, front fourth, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to do my other eye now. So now I'm just gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna do the shimmers now. I'm just gonna go back and forth between them and just blend them together. So there's a nice smooth transition between each shimmer. Okay, so I blended my best, and then I'm gonna take a tiny bit of glove, and I'll probably go back over the edge of that a little bit with Cupid just to blend, yeah, this into the shimmer. Okay, awesome. I'm really happy with the way that this looks. It's not super even. I might try to even it out a little bit right now. I feel like I just made it more uneven. I don't even know. Okay, so I'm gonna go in, you know what, I'm actually gonna use like a really small brush like this. This is just a bent liner brush. I'm gonna take a little bit of concealer. Actually, I'm gonna take a little bit of micellar water for any corrections that I have to do up here, and then I'm going to use a little bit of concealer right here because it kind of messed up. If I didn't have my base on, I could use micellar water here as well, but here I don't like have any other shadows, so it's fine, and I'm not like doing blending or whatever. But if you don't have base on already, you could use micellar water, or if you want to like retouch up or whatever. But yeah, and this brush fits perfectly in there. And honestly, I just kind of try to get it as close as I can. Like, it's not going to be super even, but you know what? The best, no one's going to notice. Just do the best you can. And even if someone does notice, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit, you know? Like, just do your makeup, have fun. Fuck the haters, you know? Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? Actually, I'm going to take these lid shades on my fingers now that everything's nice and perfected, and I'm going to, so Cupid, Bellini, and Pillow, I'm just going to, as carefully as I can, use my fingers to intensify these shades on my lid. For my lower lash line, I'm going to take Glove and connect it to my upper lash line, or like the upper part of my eye, and I may have to then extend that wing down, but I just want to like connect it, make it one shape, you know. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to take each of the shimmers and put them along my lower lash line too. Jesus. Okay, so I've just put all those shimmers along my lower lash line, as you can see. And then finally for this palette, I'm going to take the shade Angel, which is this like really, really light pink, and take a tiny bit of that and use that to highlight my brow bone. As you can see, my skin itself is basically white, like paper white. Obviously I'm white, but anyway. This, yeah, doesn't do a whole lot, but there we go. I've done it. And then for my inner corner, I'm going to go outside of this palette. And I'm going to use the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Frog, which is just a really light, iridescent kind of pinky shade. There's just not something super, super light. I could use the shade Chandelier, but it's just, I think, too deep for what I want. So I'm just going to put that in my inner corner. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave this look. I'm going to hop off camera, do lashes, finish up my face, and then be back to give my final thoughts on this palette. Alright, so this is the finished look. On my lips, I have the tiny, tiny little ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade BFF mixed with my Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil Endless Cacao. And everything that I have on my face will be in the description box below, as typical, you know, I try my best to do that most of the time. I gotta say, I've just been really into more like graphic shapes with eyeshadow. I think it's really fun, and I feel like it's so, I don't know, it's just such a different way to use shadows and use my palettes that I haven't really explored that much, so it feels really fun to me. I love being able to show off all these shimmer shades, and I've just been really enjoying it. I'm trying like something different. So my thoughts on this palette, you know what? It actually grew on me a lot the more I used it. Like I said before, I really actually, not dreading isn't quite the right word, but I was a little bit apprehensive before filming this video because I was like, I just don't know like what looks I'm going to be able to come up with. I don't know how they're going to turn out. I really wasn't sure. But you know what? I was able to make this palette work in a way that I really enjoyed without having to really incorporate black too much. I thought I was going to really have to bring like a ton of deeper colors into this palette in order to make me love it or enjoy using it. But I gotta say, like, I was pleasantly surprised. However, I pretty much focused on these two in terms of mattes, these two bottom rows and then this mahogany shade. I love all of the shimmers. I think all of the shimmers in this palette are so pretty, like so pretty, so sparkly and beautiful. The only little outlier is the shade Cupid. It's a really, really beautiful bright shade. It's just not quite as sparkly, but it is super pretty. Excuse the construction sounds. I am so sorry. I absolutely cannot control it. We're just gonna have to roll with it for today. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I didn't get a ton of use out of these top two rows. Like legitimately, this shade, and this shade I use as like brow bone highlights. I wouldn't even really use them as transition shades. They're just super light. Like they're just like extra pastel in that they're just basically off-white shades. And for me, I just can't think of any other way that I would use them, to be honest. Maybe if you have a deeper skin tone, you could use them as like an inner corner highlight if you like a matte inner corner. A matte inner corner isn't really for me, and I think they're not quite, like, I'm so pale that I don't know that that would quite work. So for that reason, this palette isn't quite my favorite, which is, you know, Not surprising considering that I love a deep eyeshadow. But I also just think they could have gotten the vibe of this color story and gotten the same effect that this palette gives while incorporating shades that are going to work on a wider variety of skin tones. Because, or even for me, like obviously most shadow, like every shadow works on me, right? You know, like I'm so fair, but like I don't need 3 matte brow bone highlights. And I'm sure that most people don't need like so many light shades. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I actually and have ended up being happy that I had this palette. I love the vibe of all the looks. It's very just like soft and sweet, appropriate for Valentine's Day. Which is super great considering it's April, but I mean, you can have that vibe all year round. Anyway, let's just try to rein my thoughts in here. But I would say, like, could I get the the effect of this palette from the other palettes that I have? For sure. Like, if you can get this on a really good discount, honestly, pick it up. If you can justify, like maybe you look at this palette and you're like, I can use every single shade in here, that's amazing for you. If you enjoy the shimmers or some of the deeper shades, I know that Beauty Bay does sales. They often have like different discounts where you can get their palettes for really cheap. So I would say, am I filming? Yes, oh my god. I would say maybe like keep a lookout for that and just get this palette as cheap as you can, frankly. And I think that it's just like a nice palette. There's like nice shimmers, you know, in terms of that aspect. I do enjoy it, but I would not say don't buy this palette full price. Like, just wait for a sale and then maybe that would be, you know, more justified for you. I don't know. Or if, you know, you're just not into it, this might be one to skip. But if you did end up getting this palette, or you were just looking for maybe like ways to make it more vampy or different ways to use it, hopefully that this was a little bit helpful. Hopefully. And yeah, if you just wanted my take on it, this is, you know, kind of what I would do. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll try not to make this outro too long. If you want to stick around, I upload 3, sometimes 4 videos a week with a heavy focus on eyeshadow. If you just can't get enough of me. I mean, who can possibly blame you? I think I already said it. Thanks so much again for watching this video, and I would love to see you in my next one. Bye.